What's the biggest mistake that people make when they need to speak in public? You might look at some fantastic public speakers and think, oh, those people are awesome. I need to be like them. I need to make myself awesome. But this is wrong. This is not what they're doing. They're not making themselves look awesome. They're making you feel great. If you need to give a talk, here's where you should start. Not how do I make myself seem great? That's not going to work, and it's not going to be helpful to the audience. They don't really care about you. They care about themselves. So we've got to start with them. Who are they? What do they want? You didn't stand up there and said, oh, I'm a fantastic teacher. You lot are so lucky to be here listening to me. You didn't say that. You said, hey, here's an area. Let me tell you about it. It's really exciting. Or you said, hey, maybe you think this is tricky. It's not tricky. You can do this. You're going to show them the part that they should care about and can understand. And then they're going to feel smarter. They're going to feel, hey, I get this. When I listen to you, I understand. In this video, I'm going to show you a simple way to make your audience have a good time. And that's how to be an effective public speaker. So let's get started. My name is Jonathan Kahn. I'm a communication coach. I spent the last 10 years showing people how they can use the knowledge they already have to be more effective through communication. And today I want to talk to you about public speaking, the idea of getting up there, giving a talk, wowing people. And if you've watched people who are great speakers, you might think, oh, that person is awesome. That person is an amazing speaker. They are so clever. They are so intelligent. Now, that might be true. At the same time, I think what's happening in that interaction is not so much them being clever as you enjoying what they're doing. You might have understood something. You might have realized something. You might have been inspired to try something. And that's what effective public speaking is about. It's not about making the speaker seem awesome. It's about making the listener or the audience feel great or learn something or understand something. Your audience won't be impressed. If you get up there and say, oh, I'm really successful. I've done really well. Look how amazing I am. I mean, people will be open to that initially, but if you don't provide them with value, if you don't tell them something that helps them, they very quickly will get sick of you. You may even get booed. Although it's great to tell people who you are and why you're up there talking to them, they don't want to know about how great you are unless your greatness helps them in some way. One of the mistakes some people make when they get up there is they start talking about how they're qualified to help the audience. Now, this matters if they don't know who you are. If you haven't been introduced, you need to explain who you are. If you start telling them, I've done £5 million here and I've got this car and I'm really successful and I'm award winning, people are going to start getting annoyed unless you immediately move on to things that make them better at what they do, things that make them happy, things that make them more powerful. Your job as a public speaker is to make the audience aware of something that they didn't know before. So really it's about thinking like a teacher. How can you inspire people to take a certain action? How can you explain why something is important, how it can help them? How can you convince people that they can do something that they previously thought they couldn't do? That's what great teachers do. If you need to give a talk, if you need to present your ideas or stand up and talk to a bunch of people, here's where you should start. Not how do I make myself seem great? That's not going to work, and it's not going to be helpful to the audience. They don't really care about you. They care about themselves. So we've got to start with them. How could you make someone think? How can you show someone that they can already do something? How can you explain something in a simple way? How can you convince someone to try something new? Or can you give people a new way of looking at something? Now, none of these things are about making the speaker look good. It will obviously reflect well on you if you're able to do them. And so they may say, that was a great talk. Or great job. That's fab, right? But that's not because you bigged yourself up. You didn't stand up there and said, oh, I'm a fantastic teacher. You lot are so lucky to be here listening to me. You didn't say that. You said, hey, here's an area. Let me tell you about it. It's really exciting. Or you said, hey, maybe you think this is tricky. It's not tricky. You can do this. On a more mundane level, you've got to give an update at a team meeting and you do some technical thing. You analyze some kind of numbers, you design some kind of system, or you make incremental changes to some very complex thing. The people listening to you don't share their expertise. And so they'll start from a place of thinking, I don't get it. It's over my head, or maybe it doesn't even matter to me. But what you're going to do as an effective public speaker is show them why it does matter to them and that they can understand it. So you're going to distill down all the knowledge you've got, all the technical information, all the complexity. You're going to show them the part that they should care about and can understand. And then they're going to feel smarter. They're going to feel, hey, I get this. When I listen to you, I understand. And this is the way that you become an effective speaker, by helping people understand. Remember, if this is something you know about, you have a bunch of knowledge. You already know everything there is to know about this area, right? But what you don't yet know is the way to explain it in a way that's relevant and interesting. And that is about thinking about, how can I give the audience a great day, right? If I've got 10 minutes, if I've got 5 minutes, even if I've only got 1 minute at the team update, how can I make them feel that my area, analytics or whatever, that's exciting for them? Well, what do they care about? And do they care about learning something about our audience? Do they care about profit and loss? Do they care about, what's hot now? Whatever it is, what can I give them? What can you and your skill set and your knowledge and your work give them to make them better at what they do, wiser, calmer, or even just better informed, right? Think about how I can teach them something in my 1 minute, in my 5 minutes. I can show them something. I can make them think about something. And once you've figured that out, it becomes easier, because you don't have to big yourself up, show them how amazing you are. No, all you need to do is show them something that is relevant and interesting to them, that relates to what you do. And you can check that they've got it. You can ask for questions. But really what you're doing there is thinking ahead. What do these people want? How can I help them? How can I give them something that will be useful to them? Audiences are focused on themselves. They care about themselves. They care about understanding stuff. They care about being able to do stuff. They care about saving time. Anything you can do that makes their life easier, that gives them information, that helps them learn something, will make them perceive you as an effective speaker. So if you're making this mistake, if you're thinking, public speaking is about making myself look good, I've got to show them how great I am and wow them with my ideas, just stop. Just don't do that. There is a much better way to get the outcome you need, which is to start with that audience, find out who they are, find out what they want, figure out how you can use the knowledge you have, the things you know, to give them a good time, to be useful, to be interesting, to save time, to show them that they can do something, to inspire them to do something. If you can do that, they're going to love what you have to say, and they'll perceive you as a really effective speaker. And it wasn't about you, it was about them. You gave them a higher resolution experience. You gave them a way of looking at the world. You inspired them to try something. You convinced them that they could understand your area. And that's what you need to do if you want to be an effective public speaker. I'd love to hear your views on this. Have you tried anything like this? What are your experiences of public speaking? Please leave a comment below. If you found that helpful, hit subscribe and you'll get notified about future videos. I'm Jonathan Kahn, communication coach, and I'll see you next time.